Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. Thanks for being with us. Check out our other videos. We're going to be looking today at like an introduction to creation science. This is all part of a seminar, a 6-service seminar I taught with our good friends, Derek and Shannon Seagraves in Eagle River, Alaska. So you can probably check out on their Facebook page. He's got a huge social media presence, Pastor Derek Seagraves. This probably on there. But I thought I'd just do several lessons. So this is kind of like an introduction. Break it up into bite-sized pieces. Might could take some notes if you wanted to. So let's get started. Again, thanks for being here. These are just a few of my favorite authors of creation science. By no means an exhaustive list. Philip Johnson, professor out at UCal Berkeley, Stephen Meyer, many of you be acquainted with him, David Berlinski, I love how he writes, Michael Denton, even though Michael Denton isn't necessarily a creationist, he's kind of an anti-evolutionist person, William Behe, William Dembski, and then of course people like Isaac Newton, kind of the founder in some ways of modern science, wrote more on the Bible than he did about science, even though he did, like, of course, the laws of gravity, physics, trigonometry, optics is what he was known for a lot in his own day. Of course, Francis Bacon with his Novum Organum. I remember reading that. I really enjoyed that. I don't think I ever got through with it. Long story there. Michael Faraday. And then some of my favorite resources, Creation Science Movement in the UK with Dr. Bill Cooper. Get anything he's got. It's always, even if I disagree with him, he's fascinating. Institute Creation Research, AIG, Answers in Genesis, all the YouTube, other sources on the internet. And then is Genesis history, what stuff he's got, or they've got. Lambert Dolphin, Blue Letter Bible has his stuff. And then a couple books like Scientists Who Believe, in 6 days is the name of it. It's on Amazon. It's like a 2-part series, and it's very renowned scientists that believe in creation. And of course, it's a very famous creation scientist from the UK. He's got 3 different degrees. And his name is very difficult for me to remember for some reason. So let's get started on this. All right. Science is the discovery of the natural world. It operates upon the scientific method, which begins with an hypothesis, goes into testability, and then hinges upon repeatability. And of course, there's same climate conditions and all this in that. Then something can be seen as true, assuming certain variability factors are met. Now, here's a question, very famous book from the 19th century. Are science and the Bible at war with one another? No, most certainly not. Almost all true science has come from the Bible and Bible believers. You can see the list in the back of Henry Morris's study Bible of all the different fields of inquiry that have been begun by Bible believers. So here's some scriptures on science. Daniel 1:4. Children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge and understanding science. Now, they were there at Babylon, and they understood science in Babylon. They understood trigonometry. And that's mathematics, but long story. And such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, whom they might teach the learning and tongue of the Chaldeans. Now, this was about 600 BC when Daniel 1:4 was written. The Babylonians had known trigonometry for well over a millennium. They had a sexagesimal system for advanced mathematics, and the same system of the number 60 modern computers are based on. The Egyptians knew the location of the North Star 25,000 years into the future. And they designed the pyramids almost incalculably well, not only in engineering, but also as far as geography goes, excuse me. Now, Israel did not study science per se. A lot of fascinating things like the sun going back 10 degrees in Hezekiah's time, Joshua's long day, done some videos on that. So they didn't study science per se, though Solomon certainly went into engineering and the life sciences very heavily. He was a polymath. You can read those wonderful scriptures there about Solomon. Israel felt that since they knew and worshiped the Creator, it was more important to know Him than discovering the world around them outside of useful inventions. The first of the so-called modern philosopher scientists, one of the things, and studying like PhD in apologetics and biblical archaeology and things, is that science is actually just a branch of philosophy. Thales of Miletus, who did predict, he actually correctly predicted an eclipse, which is pretty amazing. Eclipses are a big proof, too, of a spherical earth, not a flat earth. 1 Timothy 6:20, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. This means do not let false science become a part of your belief system. And you'd be shocked at how it has, and how belief in evolution. Now, people tell me all the time, well, I'm an evolutionist and I'm a Christian. Well, they've had to do a lot of vain jangling there to get to that point. Like, they finally had to conclude, okay, Adam and Eve were special creations, because if they weren't, then Adam and Eve weren't in the image of God. They were in the image of a bacteria, an amoeba, that gradually evolved, and then that God did not what he said in Genesis 1, 2, and 3, but the most inhospitable methodology imaginable, that through death, through billions of years, came life instead of instantaneous creation, which is what observationally you have to see, such as male and female, and symbiosis of life, such as plant-animal symbiosis of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Bees, flowers, that symbiosis as well. They'd have to be created right about the same time with one another, male and female, for procreation, obviously, 800 mammalian species. And then you have the Cambrian explosion as well. So they would have to say, okay, a lot of that happened, but Adam and Eve were special creations, because when you get to Jesus, he's known as the second Adam or the last Adam. And so he's a figure of him that should come. The first Adam was a figure of him that should come. And some people say that's the exact image. So it would make Jesus not in the image of God, but in the image of a bacteria or an amoeba. And that would destroy the person and work of Jesus Christ. His sacrifice would not be what it needs to be. Daniel 12:4, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. That's certainly happening right now. One more scripture, and then we'll close for this particular part of the lesson. Revelation 4:11, thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and with thy pleasure they are and were created. So as you go through Scripture, the importance of God being the creator and maker is constantly emphasized. One of the things as you read the Bible through, maybe in a year, all the times where it talks about it's He that hath made us, not we ourselves, you know, Psalm 100, God is creator, maker, all the times how important that doctrine is. So that's kind of an introductory look at creation science, some good resources there that I found personally beneficial, but by no means a total look, and just some introductory scriptures. So keep joining us daily here on New Life of Albany, Georgia. Share with your friends. God bless. We love you. Talk with you later. Bye-bye.